conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media, and I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out, stop it. I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second itch to me, just a minute out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out. I am not the way, no way. I have seen the way. Yeah. Speak, repeat, there's no way.
Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the 509 Divine Pines podcast. I am your host, Joseph Daniel Pena, and we are kicking right through the door on February 19th, 2024, because you know what? The devils are against us, and we have the light today. We are sparking up that fire, igniting you guys, your souls, motivating you to go get higher. Be blessed. Be one with the force. Be one with heaven. And today we got a blessing for you. I am with Takin Top's owner, Shane Willis. And first and foremost, guys, this is a live broadcast. So we are out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Rumble, and going out in the morning to a few more sites. Actually, probably many more. Who knows? It's going to go out there like a boat, just flow into the ocean, to the ether of the world, and reach many years. First thing, though, for you is like, subscribe, and share, and tell everybody around that this is going down. We have multiple sponsors and affiliates down below. We have links for donations if you want to go ahead and help me get eye surgery and also help me stay stationed. Go ahead and hit the donations. If you want to go check out my links, my socials, I got them down below, and you can also find Takin Top's links down below. So, guys, hope you guys are having a great start to your week, because I am. I just picked up my 4th client for fitness training, and it's just awesome, man. I love being able to help people, and I love being able to get people in shape, because it's just a passion of mine, like athletics, fitness, sports. It's my calling, and if I can do what I love to do and help people, it's just a win-win. And well, today I know that this dude is winning. His name is Shane Willis, and he is the owner and operator of Takin Top's Cannabis and GlobFather Extracts, as well as the operations manager for Terpicana Extracts. His journey in cannabis cultivation began in 2010 in New Jersey when he was 15 years old. Since then, he has been dedicated to honing his skills and acquiring much knowledge as possible in the cannabis field. He previously managed a commercial grower operation in Denver for several years before transitioning to a much smaller and traditional market scene. His goal is to assist growers of all sizes in overcoming the myriad challenges associated with running a successful and efficient cannabis operation. This includes advising on the selection of proper equipment, optimizing space for productivity, water scheduling, nutrient planning, post-production processes, and compliance. Cannabis has been his life's work, and he is deeply grateful for the impact this plant has had on his life. And you can check out his link tree down below. And hey, Shane, thank you for being here, man. In my eyes, cannabis is the greatest healer in the world, and people who respect it are blessing. They're blessed, and we have love on our side where we can reach out to other people in the community, see that they're doing positive work, seeing that they're getting positive effects, and it gives us a smile, because you know that at the end of the day, they're not sleeping with back pain. They're not sleeping with insomnia. Their body's healed and medicated. White blood cells are doubled when we smoke weed. When we use cannabis, let me say it more professionally, more holistically. When we use cannabis, I prefer edibles. And around the world for centuries, it's been known as a religious or spiritual healer. And so, hey, man, thank you. So, if you want, you can go ahead and let them know a little bit more about you and how you got here. I mean, the journey that you want, man. Go ahead and give us a little, the floor is yours.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. The introduction was really nice, man. My name's Shane. I'm the founder and the owner of Takin Cannabis. We're very lucky to live in the time that we live in, where we're just now starting to come out of the draconian laws that the United States has kind of put the rest of the world on the stage to follow up on. And we're now starting to be in a place where, it's, at least in Colorado anyway, growers have been able to really come up out of their basements, come up out of their garages, and really show what they've been working on for their, forever behind closed doors, which is really nice. As you said, I started growing like 15 years ago now. I spent about 4 years running a decent sized commercial grow operation before deciding to branch off and do my own thing. The commercial side of it was just pretty brutal. Not much passion behind it. When you start scaling room or facilities up to 50, 75,000 square feet, it starts to get hard to provide that same amount of passion to the plants when you maybe only have, even if you're running, allegedly running maybe 120 plants or 150 plants, you're really able to get into your grow, give each plant the time and attention that it needs so that it can flourish and become the best medication that it can.
There's always this question, man. Is there a huge difference in your eyes between recreational, the medical, and homegrown cannabis, like far and few between, or is it barely anything, or what's the difference for all my viewers out there?
So for a lot of the people out there, they do think that there's like a vast difference between the medical product and the recreational product. Here in Colorado, I can say that all that the difference is the color of the plant tag that goes around the base of the plant. So a yellow tag is going to be a medicinal tag, like for a medical plant, or a blue tag is going to be for a recreational plant. And like, that's just the way that it's in the system, in the computer, to be tracked in Colorado. But as far as like the quality of the product or the integrity of the product or the testing that goes into the product afterwards, there's no difference at all.
Okay, well, an idea of mine is that in the genetics, that it's very limited compared, when you go to homegrown and you go to these seeds that have been passed down for generations, or cultivated really well and they're natural, compared to some of the recreational medical, I would like to think that the DNA is very limited, and the medical effect maybe, or the effect that it has on the body is limited.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so you got to remember too that when you're talking about any commercialized facility where they have investors that they're needing to answer to, they're not going to run anything that takes longer than 8 weeks. And if they are running the strains that take longer than that, then they're not running them to that efficiency. Like, they're only running 8 weeks. They're harvesting, they're cleaning, resetting, because they have to get such and such amount of runs in per year to capitalize on the market and try to, get as much money as they can in their pockets, which is like what they're doing. Versus when you go into a home grower's garden, or even somebody like, it still would be considered a home grower, like somebody that's maybe converted a house or something like that. they might have like one room or something that's dedicated to like their 10 to 12 week strains. And they're actually going to run them that 10 to 12 weeks. So if you give the grower that time and you don't really aren't like choking him out to chop his plants, like you can really get some medicinal effects out of these plants that you aren't going to get if you chop them at 8 weeks.
Yeah, so they're just not a full when well grown. I actually do see it in dispensaries. I never really thought of it like that, where it just didn't seem like these plants were grown to its maximum. But I'm thinking also that when we look at these terpenes and we look at the cannabinoids and the rates, it's just not there. It almost seems like it's out of spectrum compared to some of these natural CBD like crosses and THCs. Like it's full spectrum all across the board.
So in the shops too, you got to take the testing like with a grain of salt, because there's a lot of people that are like either cooking the test, like they're going and like they're like looking for the perfect bud to put in, or they're enhancing the potency of their samples somehow, or they're just going to multiple labs until they get the results that they want. You know what I mean? So like if it's like, oh, well, I got low results here, they'll pay and send samples somewhere else. Then they'll just keep doing that until they'll shop around until they find somewhere that's like, oh wow, these guys give us good results. You know what I mean? So it's sad to say, but like really, the way to know and like be educated on what you're smoking is just to do a little bit of research, a little bit of time, and get to know this plant a little bit, so that when you are either A, in a dispensary setting, or B, at a traditional market setting, you can look in the jars and you can smell the jars, because the nose knows. So like if it smells amazing and like that's your body's telling you that you want that, most of the time that's going to be what you want. But if you're in a setting where like you can't see it and you can't smell it, you really just got to be educated and kind of know what questions to ask,
Yeah, man. It's just like I think a lot of people have came to this conclusion these days that weed is bad because of the way that the industry has marketed it and diluted it. Really controlled what we put in the soil in the recreational. Versus what we can put it over here in our homegrown, and it's made people think that weed is bad in some essence. I mean, a lot of these fillers too. We see these distillate, and we see these weird different things out there that's really bad. I mean, some of them have like all these poisons and pesticides and toxins and all these different things. And can you speak on that?
Man, it gets deep when you start getting into that. So like I was actually just at one of the largest distillate manufacturing facilities in the country, in Washington. I was out there a couple weeks ago, or no, not. It was like right before Thanksgiving, like the week of Thanksgiving. Me and a buddy drove out there, got some extraction equipment, and came back. But when we were there, his buddy is running this massive distillate facility, and I'm talking like 5,000 liters of distillate like in their safe. So they're like doing a massive production. But like I always say this, and I'll say this here now, these cheap concentrate products like distillate, or some of these cheaper batter products that you're seeing come onto the market, they are made with like a lot of it is made with like byproduct. So like in California, you have all these massive grows, indoor, outdoor, greenhouse, light depth, you name it. And they sell the tops. Like the top buds are like for ounces and pounds, and you know what I mean? That's for bud. And then usually like lowers and larf and all that stuff will get put into concentrates or put into joints, or somewhere down the assembly line like that, they'll find somewhere to use that product. And then there's like the trim, which is like the bottom of the barrel, and like that stuff will stack up for years or however long, and like because the money was good, so like they're not paying attention to the trim, and then like all of a sudden you've got like a whole room or a shipping container full of trim, and like a distillate guy will come along and be like, hey, like, you want to turn that whole shipping container into money? And it's like, yeah, for sure. And like, so I don't hate on it, because it's using all of the product and like getting something out of it, like a 88 to 93% distillate cartridge. Is it what I want to smoke? No, but like there's a lot of people out there, and like the economy is really rough right now, that are trying to decide, like, am I gonna smoke this week, or am I gonna like go get groceries for my kids? And like if it's like that, the budget concentrates and distillate cartridges, like they serve a place in the market for those people, so I'm not knocking anybody's choice of smoke.
Yeah, man. It does get pretty deep to think about it. I mean, I've heard things that there's even a lot of recreational that kind of has a lot of mycotoxins and mold and like all these different small things that they just allow through, and seems like some companies pay money to the testers to let their weed go by.
So it's yeah, it gets weird, because like with living soil, for example, like a lot of grows aren't really able to scale into the living soil side of it, because they'll test hot for different microbes like that are in the living soil, but they're not the bad microbes. So it's really weird. And I don't know if you've known this or any of your viewers knew this, but like when Cookies came to Colorado and they got their first contract, and they were selling $500 ounces in Denver, and it was moldy. Like people were getting home and like opening their bags of cookies, and like it was moldy. And like the reason about why is because when you're growing, you can't take an SOP from California and come to Colorado and like go by that same SOP, because you're in a completely different growing environment. Like growing in Colorado is a completely different animal than growing in South Florida or Southern California or Humboldt or Oregon. It's just like it's an animal of its own, and until you've gotten down and dirty in Colorado, you don't really know like how you need to do things here. So even a company as well known as Cookies was able to come here, grow some weed, get it past testing, in the bags, on the shelves, get $500 an ounce for it, and people got home and it was still moldy. So I mean, it does happen. We're working with a live plant, so it makes it a little bit more unpredictable than some other markets, but it's still a market that, if done correctly and done with passion, there's no reason that it shouldn't be easily replicable, like on any scale. You know what I mean? It should be able to be done by anybody that really cares and has their mind in the right place.
And it's strange though that there's so much growth out there, and then a lot of it gets thrown away or whatever. It's like they can't legally just give it out for free, which is kind of a shame and a sham. Why do they do that? Like, like, is there like a real legit reason? I mean, from what I hear though, is that secretly a lot of that weed gets sold to like private investors and people that they can't say, like, let's just say like different things like BlackRock or these big huge corporations and their secret men.
So I mean, as far as like selling of product or giving out of product, I don't know. It's weird. You have some people that they play by the books. But of course, like in any other market, there's going to be people that are trying to, go cut corners or are backdooring product onto the streets through like extended plant count licenses, like through employees. So like if all of your employees have extended plant counts and all of your employees are able to buy pounds and pounds of product for cheap, you know what I mean? And then your employees are just like doing the work on the streets. Like it gets really weird, you know what I mean? So like, but people are getting hemmed up, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't advise anybody do anything illicit on the white market. The MED does not play, and they will be looking through your books. But
Well, that's that's interesting that you said that, because I have seen like certain recreational companies like in the streets, and all of their stuff like real certified. I'm like, this is more than just someone going to the dispo. Then I know this is certified. Like that's real interesting. Never thought about it like that. You know, if we're looking at like the history of where you've seen cannabis, how far has it changed? I mean, you're my age, 30, but like, you know, can you speak and let my viewers know like a little bit, because we come from a maybe the homegrown side, the holistic side, and we know like there's some true healing power to this. It almost seems like, I'll be real, man. It seems like when I smoke weed or use cannabis, I feel connected to God and protected by God. Like, and these days, people, a lot of society has this fear that like the recreational and the medical, it seems like there's just a different, darker vibe to it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just like there's missing connections, missing pieces or something, and that kind of boils onto the DNA. But like, how far has it changed? Like,
so I mean, as far as like it changing, I mean, when I started this journey, was 2010, and I had just like kept getting caught smoking. Like my parents just kept like busting me like with like either a bong in my room, or like I would be like out in the middle of the night smoking weed, and like they would pull the cover back on my bed and like see the dummy laying in the bed, and like I was out the window like smoking weed somewhere at 2 a.m. Like that was like the kind of shit I was on. And like, so my parents just like sat me down. It was my dad actually sat me down and kind of was like, well, if this is like the route that you're gonna go, like you're gonna learn to grow this. I'm gonna build you a setup, and you're gonna learn to grow it so that you're not having to go out and spend your money on it. And I was only 15. Like I had no idea like what that meant. So I like ordered seeds online from Amsterdam, and I still have the pack today, and 2 seeds left on them. But yeah, then I just kind of started. I went to a hydroponic grow store, and there was only one in the state of New Jersey at the time, and it was like 3 hours away from my house. So like me and my buddy borrowed my aunt's car, drove to a hydroponic store, spent $1,000 on a light and a ballast and nutrients and soil, and like we just kind of talked to the guy at the grow store for an hour, and then like out we went on our own. And like back in those days, it was like the only way you could really get information was like on the forums. Like the internet really wasn't like reliable back then for like cannabis growing information. You were just kind of like getting hearsay of like some dude that heard something from some hippie 20 years ago kind of shit. And like, so there was a lot of like really bad information out there, and trying to navigate our way through it. But like our first plant, like we had one out in the woods, like a mile away from our house. And like I had the fondest memories of like us making gallons of nutrients at my house at like 2 o'clock in the morning, jumping out the window, and we would walk out into the woods with gallons of Arizona iced tea in backpacks. So we were just like two 15-year-old kids, like going out into the woods at 2 a.m. with backpacks to go water our weed plant, like back in the woods. And like we made it and we smoked a little bit of that weed, but most of that plant got eaten by deer. So, I mean, like, I feel like that was just us earning our stripes and putting our miles in. Like, oh, these guys are about it. They're out here watering their plants at 2 a.m. after they walked a mile. But, like, that's how it was back then. Like, growing cannabis was super sketchy. Like, you didn't want anybody to see you doing it or, like, know you do it. And, like, nowadays, like, I can just be me. I don't have to worry about it.
And yeah, dude, I think there was this thing about the deer, right? Where if they ate it, then you got certified for sure. They're like, hey, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. You know, it's good enough. It did its job and it grew well. But you know, I was thinking like more. I was talking more about the strains. Like I feel like when I started to smoke back in 2010, 2009, 2011 ish, the strains were just they seemed heavier. Like there was just this different aromas, these different flavors, different stickiness, and you know, buds were bigger. You know, the bags were danker. It seemed like. I mean, I know that it was rarer, but you know, I had some pretty solid people who were you know, pretty good with their knowledge on it and had good connections to it, and so you know, I smoked an exotic, and like I definitely don't have the same you know flavors and strains these days. It almost seems like a lot of that old school, you know, those really funky, skunky terps and these you know really deep aromas, deep tastes, they've just kind of gone away. I mean, even some of the things that we've spoke on Discord, guys, you can go follow our Discords down below. uh uh, like train wreck, you know, I remember smoking that like 2010. There was this cerebral high and it was a very rare cut. And you know, just seems like a lot of that OG-ness, that depth went away.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like, so I would like to think that a lot of that is like placebo effect, right? Um, like I remember like back in the day, like same time, like 2009, 2010, getting like bags of New York Sour Diesel. Like that was like my favorite strain back east. Like,
Or New York Power Diesel.
yeah, like there was a couple of them, but like, it's hard to find stuff like that nowadays that like really rings my bells like to that same caliber. But I also like to think that maybe that has to do with like that was like my first year like hitting a bong, and like I was like really just starting to get immersed into like cannabis and what it really could do for me. And I would like to think that it was just some of like me being in high school, like because I have access to like the original sour diesel still, like to this day. Adam Dunn has it, and he's responsible for bringing it over to Amsterdam in the early 90s and circulating it around there, and it's come back. And like we're actually doing live resin of it now, of that cut. So like there are specific cuts that are still here that like those are the ones that were like the bell ringers back then. But I've been smoking for like 16 years now, like hard, you know what I mean? And I don't ever take a tolerance break. So like it's weird. They just don't hit me the same way they used to like 12 years ago, you know?
No, I really do think that it's genetics, man. I think that there's something deeper, and you know, it's like the way that it is in America. They all the good stuff was kind of tossed away and then hidden to the side, and you know, all the cheap stuff was put onto the limelight. What is that right there for all my viewers?
This is Oreos. So you can see it's like real dark purple.
Here, let me put you on single real quick.
Yeah, like it's really dark purple. got some nice trichome coverage on it. But a lot of the thing that a lot of people say about Oreos is that it's like a little bit lifeless. It's a little bit terpless, you know, like it's great Instagram weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Like those, there, it just seems like a lot of like the OG stuff. I remember had the freaking craziest terps. You know, people. I remember people saying that like the weed used to be so sticky back in the day. You used to be able to throw it up against the ceiling and it would stick. You know, like so that's how dank these buds were. Like how much juice there was. You know, I remember even certain strains like strawberry haze and another haze, and like these hazes were the original hazes, right? And you know, you can't really find that these days. It seems like kind of a counterfeit fraud, you know, in the dispo, and it's not the same, and definitely not at all, you know.
So, like I said, that I was saying, I don't know if we were even on the air yet when we were talking about it, but that Ghost Train haze that I have on my menu a lot of the time, and I don't have it right now. It's gone because like it's not many people are growing straight sativas anymore for that same reason that we were talking earlier. Same reason dispos don't want to grow them. Same reasons that, you know, guys that are paying their bills at home don't want to grow them. It's 12 weeks, 10 to 12 weeks. It's dedicated time. It's more time where you could have something go wrong and the entire crop goes haywire. So there's potential risks when you're running longer strains, but there's also potential reward when you're running longer strains. One of the things though is like people won't pay more, and this I completely understand from both sides. People won't pay more for a strain that ran 12 weeks than they will for a strain that ran 8. You know what I mean? So like from the commercial grower side or from the person who's putting out the product, they're like, well, why am I going to put in a third more time and they're not going to pay anymore? And it's like, well, you're like, that's what separates the people that are doing it just for the dollar or the people that are doing it to bring something unique to the table and be compensated for their time. There's a difference between those two things, you know? The people that are putting out the hazes or the GMOs, some of these real funky wild strains that they just don't produce or pronounce those same terps or effects when you only run them 8 weeks. Those are the guys that are doing the legwork, you know. And I love 12 week. Like me personally, I don't want to run it either.
Yo,
I also smoke primarily hash.
oh yeah, hey man, I was actually diving right up into my next thought, man. A lot of this hash out there in the recreational and stuff. You said something like it's kind of watered down, really watered down hash.
So not like watered down necessarily, but like so, like with BHO, like BHO gets a bad gets a bad rep on the market right now because it's made with butane, and the general population that is like just going into the store and is buying the stuff, either the bud tender is misinformed or uneducated about hydrocarbons, or just they're gonna say what they need to say to sell to sell a gram. You know what I mean? And with BHO, like a lot of people aren't growing an entire room to harvest it whole plant, fresh frozen for BHO. A lot of people, like I said, are taking the trim or the smaller buds or the leftovers, and it's not fresh frozen, and they're making BHO with that just so that they can get something onto the market and make some money with it, versus with like our Terpicana live resin that we do. This is all grown for live resin, whole plant, fresh frozen. So the whole room or the whole grow comes down, and within 15 minutes of it being cut off the plant, it's in bags in dry ice, fresh frozen, and then the extractor will come back to it and run the butane through it and do his magic. But it's a night and day difference between like a fresh frozen live resin and just like a trim run BHO.
Hey, I want to know if you've ever heard of the 19th century hidden hash master, Pascal Beverly Randolph. Uh, you know, he's a pretty interesting man in African American history. He was a major importer of hashish into North America. He came in contact with the herb in his adventures, searching for occult knowledge. An important figure with spiritualism movement. He was a Rosicrucian Grand Master and a sex magician, and he was a pioneer of both women's rights and black rights. But what the main thing, like hash, right, is it seems like there's this ancient esoteric I don't know, use of cannabis and hashish, and the way that our ancients used it. Like I'll be real, like, there's something about our spirit that when we're in the right vibration and the right mindset, and using cannabis for the right purposes, it seems like there's just spiritual light empowerment, um yeah, like, because there's a lot of bad looks that Hollywood and music videos and movies try to put on, weed users, that everything's all dark and demonic. Like, there's a lot in history that shows it's the opposite. What's your belief, man? On the spirituality of hash and cannabis and the ancient history of it. Like, how do you feel in your respects?
So, I mean, for me, cannabis makes me a better person. I think that a lot of people would be a better person if they would let loose a little bit and, indulge a little more. But it's weird, man, because cannabis is like for all walks of life, right? So, like, your intention has a lot to do with it, I feel like. But, I mean, ultimately, like, bad people definitely smoke weed too. So, like, whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, or what you do in society, or how you portray yourself, like, I think a lot of people use cannabis. Good people, bad people, and I don't really discriminate like on that at all, because I wish everybody would be good and smoke weed. But, like, in reality, that's just, like, not real. I know that there's, like, bad players out there. It's the yin and the yang effect.
I feel that, man. There's this other author that's famous in Europe right now. For the love of God, he was on the tip of my tongue right before I started talking. Well, he likes to think that, and other people around the world like to think that, in the Book of Moses and Leviticus and in the Ethiopian Bible over there, they kind of have a reference to this term called cannabism, and it seems like that anointing oil, or this concoction of cannabis with other things was a major healer, to the spirit and body. And when we look at it scientifically right now, man, like, there's no doubt that there's all these trillions or millions, whatever, of cannabinoid cells, CBD receptors in our body, and the CB1, CB2 receptor system, and, like, literally using cannabis medically and in the right fashion heals your body completely. Well, okay. So, speaking on more of PB Randolph's words, Randolph considered his use of cannabis products as part of a much older esoteric tradition, as the French mesmerists before him found that hashish constituted the perfect food for the soul. If he had been searching for years to find the wine of life, I know that the wine in cannabis is a major healer, over in the other side of the world. This elixir would perfectly restore the depleted vital fluids that serve to connect the soul to the body. I like to think that when you use cannabis medically and properly, whether you're using just THC, I guess, or CBD if you need it, also, it opens up and sharpens your third eye, your pineal gland, and all those vital fluid juices to get your DMT, to get your spirit going. And these depleted vital fluids that were restored in cannabis served to connect the soul to the body, he further says. He had found it in hashish, the real secret of wisdom tradition. There is no doubt that Confucius, Pythagoras, and his disciples, the alchemists, hermeticists, mystic brethren of all ages, used it to exalt them while researching for the secrets of life. Randolph's first experience of cannabis preparations came through French occultists and Rosicrucians under the Arabic name Dawam Meshk, which means the medicine of immortality, a pure form of the drug had said to have been prepared by the adepts of the East. Even in the Vedic text, man, if you know about the Vedic text, it says that this hemp is one of the 5 sacred plants, and they say it's a mother angel guardian type of plant where it's completely a healer to us. I mean, there's no doubt that Mary Jane term, and it seems to be symbolic and a very true spiritual thing. Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
Whew, it's a lot. I mean,
like, how does it hit the spirit? In your idea, do you think that this might be something much older and much greater than than what is currently being told, and that might be a reason why there was such a hate on it over the last 100 years?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there was definitely there's findings of it in Egyptian caskets and stuff. Like, there's been evidence of it being used all the way back into those times. So I think that it's always been used as a religious sacrament, or used in different cultures for different religious beliefs, or just different cultural ceremonies. But cannabis has definitely been a part of overall human, it's been intertwined with humans as long as I think humans have been humans.
It's even found over there in Israel, right? In my intro, I have this picture that flashes for a second or two. It's a couple of them. And recently, over the last 20 years, in a lot of the Israelite temples where they would, worship to Yahweh and stuff, there's just cannabis and hashish all over the altars, and cannabis remnants and resin. It's very interesting, right? Like, because look, man, literally, if we look at it, the other drugs out there, they just seem to be on the dark side. This is completely light right here. Like, me and you, I like to think that this conversation right here is trying to promote the light and the good in it, because there's a lot of people out there who were fed that propaganda, and we don't like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's crazy the way that cannabis has kind of been on a roller coaster as far as the court of public opinion. You know what I mean? It was great, then it was hated on, then we were deemed essential during COVID. So it's like the roller coaster is all over the place, But like I was saying earlier, we're lucky to be alive, right now, in a time where the United States has kind of started to shift our overall opinion of cannabis, and we are the global stage. We're the reason that a lot of the draconian cannabis laws that came into place in a lot of the world, we did that. So by us going back and saying, sorry, we fucked up, cannabis definitely has medical benefits, and we were just completely bullshitting. The rest of the world is kind of looking at that and is okay, and now maybe they'll start to turn around a little bit. Thailand Thailand turned around, but then they had a shift in political power, and then they did a complete 180 again. So cannabis is now illegal again. That's my understanding, is cannabis is now illegal again in Thailand, because I had a buddy that was over there killing it, and he had to come back to the States because it was not safe to like be a cannabis person in Thailand anymore. So it's crazy, man. Things are up and down, but like when I started this journey, I was in my basement and I was chilling, and I was, low key in a garage, and like I've been all over and been really quiet. Like I don't want to have to go back to like not sharing what I do and being really quiet, but like that's what our culture's always done. So people will do what they have to do to put out the fire.
Yeah, man. What's your take on hemp? How have you used it, or do you like it?
So like are you talking like CBD, like different products like that, or like
Oh yeah,
Texas?
either like hemp, yeah, the hemp CBD, but then there's also the hemp industrial practices where like people are building hempcrete, which is like cool. People can build houses with hemp. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I mean, we should have been building houses with hempcrete forever ago. We would have been so much better. It's so much more like fire retardant than like anything that we use now. So much more cheap, so sustainable. Um, but that's just like getting the entire construction industry. Like that's just nuts. That's way over my pay grade in my head. But like, I think that we should have done it a long time ago. I'm sorry. What was your other? Oh yeah, like CBD. Um, so like I don't use CBD personally, yet. I have my father-in-law though. Let me grab it right here.
Oh yeah, that's from the buddy Brett Anderson.
Yeah, man. So this is the full spectrum hemp tincture. So, in-laws had some strokes. Um, he's got like some other like arthritis kind of like issues, like those kind of things going on. So like this has CBD. It's really high in CBD. It's got a little bit of THC in it. It's got some CBG in it, which is like really good for sleep. Oh no, CBN. I'm sorry. CBN is really good for sleep. And then CBC. So this is a full spectrum tincture, and like I'll just have him put like a couple drops of this under his tongue, and it will really, really help him out as far as like pain relief, and just general like comfort. And like same with my mom. Like my mom has like really bad arthritis in her wrists, and like instead of putting it under her tongue, like she straight up like puts it on the spot and like rubs it into the spot, and like this stuff works. But the thing is when I go to a lot of the, like when I first moved to Colorado and I was going to a lot of the stores and I was getting different products for different people to try, like my mom was saying that a lot of the tinctures didn't work for her. It was like very, very hit and miss with some of the CBD products.
Yeah, it's definitely a big old hit and miss, man. You know, if we could, uh, yeah, you say you live out in Colorado, man. Well, what? Tell us about how it is out there. Like, as far as this is kind of a paranormal type of question. Like, have you ever experienced any of the paranormal, or like, look,
Did I
I
lose
asked
you?
Brett this too. No, 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 no. I think you have
Oh,
to rejoin. I can see.
there we go. My
Oh, there
VP,
we go. There we go. I can see you now. Perfect. Hey,
my
man.
VP.
So I asked Brett about this, about the Denver airport and how crazy it is with like the spirit, the symbology and paranormal. But what's your take? This is a UFO, Bigfoot type of podcast. Angel vibe, whatever. Like, have you ever experienced any of the paranormal, or any of that mystical nature world?
I haven't, man. I haven't personally, which is like I don't know. It's weird. Like so, I was around like a lot of death in a period of my life when I was hanging out with not such good crowds and I was doing not such good things, and it was another time in my life. But like with the amount of death that I was around, I'm surprised that I haven't experienced anything like that. But like my dad passed away in 2018, and like I definitely have had like dreams like where my dad was there, but not anything like in like my conscious state where I was like, walking or like doing something or like out in public and like something weird happened where I felt like it was supernatural. I don't think I've experienced anything to that degree specifically.
Hey, buddy, your video is frozen right there. Could you turn off your video and turn the video back on? Your audio is good, perfect. It's just a video for some reason. So find that camera button and then turn that off and turn it back on. Refresh it. There's always these talks in the Bigfoot community about how like Bigfoot's been found to like eat cannabis fields and stuff. It's kind of trippy, and to think that maybe these Bigfoot have a connection with the UFOs and stuff. It's just an interesting thing. Have you what's your take on Bigfoot out there? Bigfoot country is real, ain't it? Big, or what?
So I don't believe in Bigfoot necessarily. Like, there's some crazy stuff out there, man. Like, and I think that the human brain does wild things to explain things, but like, there's definitely stuff out there that we don't know about. And like, whether it's like on this planet or, well, there's definitely stuff on this planet we don't know about. But I don't know about like in the sky type stuff or Bigfoot. I'm not knowledged enough.
You know,
Not knowledgeable enough.
Truthfinder369 says Bigfoot is definitely real. Are you religious, spiritual, or I mean, are you religious like by any chance?
So I would consider myself spiritual. Like I grew up Catholic. I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, and I don't really want to put too many eggs in one religious basket, if that's the way to say it. You know what I mean? Like I just want to be a good person and do on to the next person what I would want done on to me kind of vibe. And like I would just want that to be everyone's philosophy. But as far as like one religion that I feel like I'm behind, I wouldn't say so.
Right. I think Catholicism and the Judaism, Christianity. There's a lot of ideas about how like we come from a Christy creator. But in regards to the Bigfoot, there's this interesting idea in the Bible. It speaks about like I know this is like interesting, right? It speaks about a son named Esau, and in there it says that this dude's hairy, like literally his whole body is hairy, right? And then we hear about the fallen angels and the giants and stuff, and then mating with like the daughters and men of mankind. Bigfoot, man, like there's a lot of people out there who've seen things. There's recordings. There's even this 1975. I don't know if you know about this. There's this 1975 Washington State Army Engineer Corps survival guide or I don't know, an encyclopedia or something, and the government itself like authorized 2 or 3 pages about Bigfoot. It's super interesting, dude. But yeah, I was just talking to see if what's your take on all that. But let's get back, I guess. Let's tell everybody like towards where we're near probably the hour markish. Let's start talking about more about what you got going on, man. Like so they know who you are and know your story. Now, like, what type of strains and what type of things you got Terpicana extract, like like what type is is I don't know what you got. Like, I guess what can you tell people about like
Oh yeah, man. So yeah, it's a kind of a co-op of stuff that I've got going on, man. I can't do it all myself. Like I'm only one guy, so I'm a grower, and then I've got a buddy who does hydrocarbon extraction. We're about to start moving into the solventless extraction realm. But my side of it is really just small batch craft growing. I take clones and supply clones to growers all over the country. I help out and give grow advice where need be, when need be. So like some of the strains that I have right now are like a locals only, which is a Wi-Fi chem crossed to a chem dog. I have a GMO, which is one of those like longer running strains that a lot of people don't typically want to run. I have the Straw Nana 14er cut, which is like the pinnacle of hash rosin for cuts. I have an apple fritter, Peruvian punch crossed to Kimberley from Heart and Soil. Like the list goes on.
yeah, speak about these lineages real quick, man. These are some pretty powerful lineages, right?
Oh yeah, I mean nowadays like it's weird though because if you look at lineages, it's like all the stuff is like all the same in the lineage. Like it's like if you look deep enough into the lineage of the strain, you'll be like, "Oh, there's that and there's that and there's that." But like it's they all express differently depending on where they are in the lineage, you know what I mean? And I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but like they're not all the same. But I mean, if you go and you go onto Google and you do lineage searches and you look on Seed Finder, like you look all deep down, like 10, 12 generations deep, you'll be like, oh, there's that cross, there's that strain again, you know?
Well, I meant just like you got like that Peruvian punch right there. Like, I guess explain to people. I know I've had bread on, but like, it, guys, this is from Peru.
Yeah, so the Peruvian punch from Kimberley was a landrace strain that Brett had hunted out. I don't know exactly what strain went into that, but it's nice because when I grow that compared to like all the other polyhybrids or today's modern hype strains, like you can smell that like, oh, there's something unique about that one. What's going on with that one over there? And then you look into the lineage and it's like, oh, because it isn't like gelato crossed to cookies. Because that's like just what everything is right now is like gelato, and cookies, and biscotti, and lemon cherry, you know, and like lemon cherry gelato. Like it's crazy. So a lot of the strains have kind of been bottlenecked right now, and it really slims down what you have like as a selection.
Yeah, that's what
Which,
I was kind of referencing over tonight. Like, there's been a lot of diluting with these strains, and I think it's on purpose, man. I think that the industry wants a certain flavor. uh, have you watched that new movie, How They Clone Tyrone?
no,
You know what I'm talking about? Do you know what movie it is?
no.
Oh, it's Jamie Foxx, right? You got to watch it, dude. It's an action, like sci-fi-ish kind of. It's not really. It's extremely well done, 10 out of 10, and pretty much it shows like a hood and some street people. They're all gang bang, drug dealing, and then a murder happens, and then the government gets involved and starts cloning people. But lo and behold, they've been doing it all the whole time with this like secret underground military base, like deep underground bunkers. But later on in the movie, everybody starts calling it out. They find out, and then like they talk to one of the main dudes, and he's like, "Yeah, man, you know why you're all like this? And you know why we keep control of everything? It's because there needs to be a certain style and certain flavor, and and y'all the ones that do it. And it's like makes me that line and all the stuff that happened in that movie, literally, man, because they show that there's taste bud enhancers in these food that are making people go stupid crazy, and it's not even like real food. It's in the hair products, like there's just this, as we said with the recreational stuff, there's just this chemical dilution to try to go ahead and like take people away from the real essence and put them on this fake crap. And it made me think, man. It's just been making me think lately over the last couple of weeks. Like ever since I watched it, bro. It makes you think that's about something much deeper, bro. It's interesting. I mean, they show like real life cloning chambers and yeah, bro. You got to watch that. Because like like it seems like with the cannabis industry and I know me and you like we smoke exotics and stuff like these other people like that they just don't know that there's this other realer side of the plant, that they can find more peace because some of that junk boof weed in the recreational, it'll make people's heart race and it'll make them feel good for 1 minute and then it'll all go away. It's just it's that kick and that zest. It's being taken away, and what so let's speak about that Terpicana extract. Like what type of flavors you got on that?
Oh man, so
let's,
yeah,
let's talk about that. How'd you get into like what made what made you let's talk about that.
So me and a couple of buddies were sitting around and trying to figure out a way that we could brand some live resin and bring it to the market, because there wasn't really anybody that was bringing like a high quality branded live resin product. Like everything right now is pretty much solventless. That's like what's driving the market right now. But like we said, we wanted to take our being able to harvest a whole room, fresh frozen, turn it into some really fire BHO, and get it out to the market and let people decide like, hey, this isn't bad and doesn't have these negative connotations to it the way that everyone was saying, or painting it out to be this evil product. And like BHO done properly and by the right people with good material is some of the best smoke out there. So we were just basically just taking ourselves on a little challenge. You know what I mean? Starting a BHO brand in 2023 is a difficult thing to do.
Uh, you know, yeah, dude, it's rare, like, because I've heard that a lot of these new rosins, new hashes, new oils, like they'll be leaving your stuff clogged. You're leaving your dab pieces clogged, burnt up. They leave a lot of nasty residues, and just it seems like bunk boof. Yours probably not.
No, I smoke everything, man. So like, this is the GlobFather line. This is the Super Boof, 70 through 119.
Hold on, hey, your video's frozen again. They can't see this, bro. Put your video. Your audio's been perfect. It's just your video freezes up every now and then.
Is that good?
No, remove the video and then put it back on. Huh. Yeah, I'm not too sure. There, okay, there. I see the video off now. There we go. Now it's on.
Okay. So like, this is our Super Boof, 70 through 119 micron. Really, really nice looking. So like, that's the hash rosin. So
You know what? The video keeps freezing right there, but we can go ahead and post these pictures elsewhere. It seems like the video
yeah,
just
yeah. Yeah, no.
No worries about that. Well, so what type of flavors you got on those on these
What type
GlobFathers?
of what?
What type of flavors? I don't know, strains.
Oh, so this super booth is gonna be like pretty citrusy, heavy. Um, it's really like all I can even say about it. Like when you open it and you crack it, it just like oranges. You know what I mean? For sure. Man, let's see what else we got here. This hazelnut. That was funky, dude. The hazelnut was really funky. I saved a lot of that for myself, and it's like almost like, excuse me,
You're good.
almost like a sweet toe cheese, like sweet but really stanky and funky at the same time, which is like really nice. I like strains that are multi-dimensional. It's not just like you smoke it and like it's all one thing. I like strains that kind of take you on a little bit of a ride, take your taste buds on a little bit of a ride. And then I have some waxy melons here. Um, that one was a little bit more fruity on the front end, but more creep up OG kind of taste flavor on the back end, but definitely had all the sweet on the front. And then trying to think, I have some mimosa, which is also going to be like more citrusy. A cherries 2.1, which was almost like a fermented cherry. It wasn't like a fresh cherry. You know what I mean? It was like cherries that like you sat in the produce drawer and you forgot about them for a while, and then like you open the drawer and you get like a whiff of like fermenting cherries. So
What,
a
what
lot of
dude, what's your favorite strain ever? I mean, I guess we're winding down here. What's your favorite strain ever?
man, it's hard. Like I
Nah, man. Like ever since you first started smoking, that it's just been that one. Like for me, I'll be real. There's always, like OG Kush. I can never go wrong with, man, because it's just it seems like it's that one that's well balanced. Always a good hit when it's grown right, and it's always a nice, nice feeling, nice medication.
for me, it's gonna be that New York Diesel, like back in the day. Um, and I can't even like get that. I don't have like the New York Diesel. I have like I have the original sour diesel. I have access to that cut, but I don't have the New York Diesel. Oh, jeez, man.
Yeah, hey man, you could turn your video off for like, and just keep the audio on because it keeps on freezing up, but the audio is good. Yeah, dude. So let's start wrapping this up, and I can have you on another time. We both got to wake up, bright and early and get the things done. What type of projects you got going on, and anything in the future?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're gonna be doing the DGC Cup on June 1st. So anybody that's interested in going to that event, check out dgccup.com. You guys can get your tickets there. It's gonna be a massive vending event for Takin Tops, GlobFather, and Terpicana. We're gonna be doing our thing. We're just took some clones, so I will have rooted clones available next week for anybody that's interested in some clones. You guys can go to the links, find out how to contact me, and we can make that happen. I ship clones nationwide. So those are the things that I have like cooking up right now. We're working on some new merchandise for the summer, some new hats, shirts, and hoodies, so we can have some stuff ready for the shows for the summertime. But other than that, man, it's just the same shit. Still just growing plants, putting out the quality. Customer service is happening every day. So yeah, man, just this train keeps rolling.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's been awesome. Where's that DG cup? Where's that cup at? That cannabis cup or that DG cup?
That's going to be in Fort Collins, Colorado on June 1st. So if you guys are looking to get a little like nice summertime Colorado vacation in, come spend a couple days with us and come hang out and get your smoke supply up with us.
How do they find the tickets to that? Because I mean, that would be pretty sweet for me to go out there. Like, and when do I have to get the tickets by? Like, how much do they cost or what?
So I think tickets are like $100 or $125. If you go to dgccup.com, you can find all the fine details and the rest of the information about that. That will also provide you with like potential lodging options for you guys and the restaurants that are around. Like they put all the stuff right on the website so that if you're not from town and you're coming in, you can just, all the information you need is right there.
Yeah, dude, that would be pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I recently like been thinking maybe I can like maybe commentate or do like podcasting at some of these cannabis events, just like in my own state, but also in other states as my podcast grows, and kind of be a cool thing to kind of a video book it. Be
Yeah,
pretty sweet, man.
and if it's a work trip too, it's a business write-off. You know what I mean? So your plane ticket, your hotel, you know what I mean? Write that shit off on your Divine Pines taxes and come have a good time with us, man.
Yeah, and that's interesting. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. How I guess I'll have to talk to you about off air about maybe more of that. So let them know where they can find you, brother. It's been an awesome conversation. I love
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah, man. No, it's been great, dude. I'd love to come back on and talk again sometime.
Anytime, man. For
Super
sure. I'll have you
chill.
on again.
But yeah, man. I mean, I'm active about as anybody can be on social media. You can find we have a Facebook group if you wanted to check out Duncan Dabbers on Facebook. That's our private Facebook group. So like anything you post in there like won't come up like on your timeline the way it does like on a lot of these other pages. So you can be nice and private and intimate in our group. Um, and then yeah, Joseph saying he was sharing my links. So if you check that out, that'll have the takentopscannabis.com website up top. You can go there and check out and support our merch. Then I also have my Discord and my Instagram in there, along with my Twitter account, my social club, because I was deleted off of Instagram for a long time. And then my Telegram links are at the bottom. The one is my main page, and then the other is just my menu and price page, which I'm basically updating daily so that I have an accurate menu out there for the people.
Sweet. Hey, man, I appreciate the time, but just a quick little thing. Truth Finder is like, Pines, you look high as fuck, broski. It's hilarious. And then he's like, your guest actually has a Bigfoot vibe going on because of your hair, I'm guessing. It's
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah. Yo, it's been awesome, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling pretty good. I've been up since like for some working out and at the gym and stuff. So I gotta get back to it tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, guys. Hit me up for my fitness trainer. Hit me up for my fitness training page on Facebook. You can find it at JDP's Fitness Program. You can also go ahead and follow my Facebook podcasting page, which is 509 Divine Pines. You can find me on all socials. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, Spotify, all these different places. Pretty much anywhere you go for social media, you can probably find me putting my podcast out there. And with that, guys, I hope you guys had a wonderful time here and hope you enjoyed the conversation. Go follow Taking Tops and go support, and well, like, subscribe, share. Tell everybody around this is going down. You can find all my sponsors down below, like C60 for your C60 needs, so carbon replenishing needs. They have one of the best antioxidants in the game, and they give you a nice percentile off your order if you use coupon code 509 Divine Pines. You can also go check out boomerboost.com and use coupon code Joe30 for 30% off your order of a one of the world Yes, one in the world barley blend that has 16 points and seeds on this barley instead of the normal 4. So it's literally 4 times as strong. It's all organic, grown in an ionized field, and this is world class healing. So use coupon code Joe30 for 30% off your order of that. You can also find the probiotics, vitamins, minerals, anything you need over at boomerboost.com. And visit Divine Light Codes. Check out anything you need for your healing, your spirituality, crystals, pendants, different healing sessions. You can go ahead and hire, like go ahead and sit down for about an hour, and you two will work together. So you will work with Sherry Ariano. She is one of the best at helping you get through these difficult times. If you need anybody who has a bit of a heavenly guidance, as some would say, and comes at this from a sense of love, and if you need any counseling, spiritual advice, but also spiritual healing, crystalline healing, psionic healing, things that seem ethereal, and if you know. So if you know and you need it, go ahead and go over there to Sherry Arnold's page, Divine Light Codes. And hey guys, love you guys. Go follow the podcast everywhere. Share it out. Be
Thank
blessed.
you.
Be
Thank you
high.
so much, man. Enjoy the rest of your night, Joe. Appreciate everything, man.
Be blessed. To be high, guys. See you guys next time.